The family you were born into is not a random choice. From the very moment of your birth, your family becomes the first mirror through which you begin to see yourself and the world. Every word spoken, every emotional reaction, and every behavior you witness leaves an imprint on your developing consciousness. Long before you understand language or logic, you are absorbing lessons about love, trust, fear, and safety. The way your parents or caregivers interact with each other and with you creates a blueprint for how you perceive relationships, boundaries, and emotional expression. Even the smallest gestures, like a smile, a touch, or a sigh, carry messages that shape your understanding of connection and belonging. Being born into a specific family places you in a particular environment that reflects both challenges and strengths you will need to face and integrate. Perhaps your family is nurturing and loving, but it may also be strict, distant, or chaotic. Each of these conditions serves a purpose. If your family provides unconditional love, it teaches you the power of security and trust. If your family struggles with conflict or emotional distance, it teaches you resilience, awareness, and the importance of self-soothing. Even the most difficult aspects of your family life are not punishments, but lessons designed to expand your awareness and help your soul grow. Within every family, you also inherit patterns that existed long before your birth. These can include cultural beliefs, social norms, emotional habits, and unspoken rules. You might notice yourself reacting in ways that feel automatic, repeating behaviors you don't fully understand, or carrying fears that seem to have no origin. These inherited patterns are not coincidences. They are the groundwork that gives you the opportunity to become conscious of the dynamics that influence your life. By recognizing these patterns, you gain the power to transform them, to choose a different way of being, and to step into a more authentic version of yourself. The family also introduces you to the concept of identity. Within your home, you begin to define who you are and who you are not. You observe what is valued, what is discouraged, and what is expected. These early experiences shape your sense of self, your confidence, and your worldview. They also illuminate your strengths and weaknesses, often in ways that are uncomfortable but essential. Being challenged, corrected, or even misunderstood by your family creates opportunities for self-reflection and personal growth. Every difficulty and every act of love is a lesson, preparing you to navigate the broader world with greater understanding and awareness. Most importantly, the family you are born into is your first spiritual classroom. It is not only a place for learning social rules or practical skills, but also a place where your soul is tested, shaped, and awakened. The experiences you have, whether joyful or painful, teach you about compassion, patience, forgiveness, and self-acceptance. They provide the foundation for emotional intelligence and inner strength. Through observing, feeling, and interacting with your family, you begin to understand the deeper purposes of life. You may not realize it at the time, but every moment, every conflict, every hug, and every lesson is guiding you toward a higher awareness. Your family is not just a set of people you happen to be born into. They are a carefully chosen environment that offers the experiences you need to grow into the person you are meant to become. Understanding this is the first step towards seeing your life and your family in a completely new light. Every family carries emotional patterns and cycles that stretch back through generations. These patterns are often invisible, yet they deeply influence the way family members think, feel, and behave. They can include inherited fears, unresolved trauma, unspoken rules, and cultural or societal expectations that have been passed down without conscious awareness. For example, you might notice recurring behaviors such as avoidance, over-control, perfectionism, or conflict in your family. These patterns are not random. They exist to teach you lessons and help you understand yourself on a deeper level. Being born into your family gives you the unique opportunity to witness these patterns firsthand. You see them not as abstract concepts, but as living dynamics that shape daily life. Perhaps there is a history of emotional suppression, or maybe certain topics are never discussed openly. You may observe repeated cycles of pain, misunderstanding, or tension that seem to replay generation after generation. These experiences may feel frustrating or even unfair, but they are actually providing a mirror for you to study human behavior, both in others and in yourself. Recognizing these patterns is the first step toward breaking free from unconscious repetition. Through your family, you learn about your own tendencies and triggers. You may realize that you react strongly to certain situations, not because of the present moment, but because of old patterns that you absorbed unconsciously. For instance, a harsh word from a sibling may trigger a disproportionate emotional response, reflecting deeper wounds inherited from your family's past. These moments are lessons in self-awareness. They teach you to pause, observe, and choose a response rather than react automatically. Over time, this awareness allows you to reclaim control over your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Families also provide the framework for learning empathy and compassion. When you see struggles, misunderstandings, or pain in family members, you begin to develop the ability to understand perspectives beyond your own. Even when family members behave in ways that frustrate or hurt you, these experiences teach resilience, patience, and emotional intelligence. They challenge you to rise above reactive patterns and respond from a place of consciousness rather than instinct. Every difficult interaction is an opportunity to strengthen your inner stability and cultivate deeper self-awareness. Importantly, you are not placed in your family to simply repeat inherited behaviors. You were born to observe, learn, and transform them. Your family is a training ground, showing you what patterns exist so you can consciously decide which to keep and which to release. This process can feel uncomfortable or even painful because it requires facing truths about yourself and the generations before you, but it is necessary for growth. By engaging with these patterns consciously, you break cycles of dysfunction and create a space for healthier, more intentional ways of being. Ultimately, being born into your family is a profound opportunity for evolution. The emotional patterns and generational cycles you inherit are not obstacles, but tools for understanding yourself and the world around you. They are challenges meant to teach you self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and resilience. By learning from these experiences, you gain the power to transform inherited patterns into conscious choices, paving the way for personal growth and freedom from unconscious repetition. Your family becomes not just a group of people you are born into, but a teacher guiding your journey towards self-realization. As your awareness grows, the family you were born into often becomes a mirror reflecting deeper truths about yourself. One of the most noticeable shifts occurs in the way you experience relationships within your family. Early on, you may have believed that family bonds were unchanging or automatic, but spiritual and personal growth gradually reveals a more complex reality. Conflict, tension, or misunderstandings in your family are not meant to punish you. Instead, they serve as catalysts for self-discovery. These challenges push you to question who you are beyond the roles you were assigned as a child. Whether it is the obedient child, the peacemaker, or the rebel, painful experiences within the family, such as criticism, neglect, favoritism, or overprotection, often force you to confront your own identity and emotional responses. These experiences may feel unfair or uncomfortable, yet they carry essential lessons about resilience, boundaries, and self-worth. You learn that your value does not depend on approval, validation, or love from others, even from those closest to you. Emotional tension and challenges within your family act as a training ground, compelling you to explore your inner strength. and develop a sense of independence that is grounded in awareness rather than reaction. At the same time, your family interactions illuminate recurring patterns. For example, you may notice cycles of misunderstanding, avoidance, or conflict that repeat across generations. These patterns are visible not only in your own behavior, but also in the way relatives relate to each other. Observing these dynamics teaches you how deeply unconscious conditioning shapes relationships. By becoming aware of these cycles, you gain the ability to respond differently, to break destructive patterns, and to create healthier ways of relating. The discomfort you feel becomes a tool for growth, a way to understand yourself and the family system more deeply. Relationships within the family also teach lessons about boundaries and emotional independence. You may realize that some connections drain your energy while others provide support and understanding. This awareness encourages you to practice self-care, to speak your truth, and to step away from situations that compromise your growth. Choosing when to engage, when to observe, and when to detach becomes a vital skill. Through these experiences, you learn that love and loyalty do not require sacrificing your own well-being. Family interactions also foster empathy and compassion. Seeing the struggles, insecurities, and limitations of family members helps you understand that everyone is navigating their own conditioning and pain. You begin to develop patience and tolerance, recognizing that behaviors you once judged harshly are often the result of their own unresolved experiences. This deeper understanding allows you to engage with family members from a place of conscious awareness rather than emotional reactivity. Ultimately, the family is both a challenge and a teacher. Conflict and difficulty are not signs of failure but opportunities to grow. Your family exposes both your wounds and your strengths, providing a framework for emotional growth, self-awareness, and inner resilience. By facing these dynamics consciously, you learn to navigate relationships with clarity and authenticity. The real lesson is not to escape your family, but to transform how you engage with it. Through this transformation, you discover that true connection begins with understanding yourself and your role within the larger system, laying the foundation for emotional maturity and conscious living. After the earlier stages of intensity, observation, and relational transformation, your spiritual and personal growth enters its most profound phase, integration. This stage is where the lessons you have learned from your family, your inner patterns, and your relationships begin to settle into your daily life. Awakening is no longer just an experience that comes in bursts of insight or emotional upheaval. It becomes a steady, lived reality. You begin to move through life with greater awareness, presence, and intentionality, applying the lessons of your family not as burdens or limitations, but as tools for conscious growth. Integration means learning to carry the awareness you have gained into every aspect of your life. You start noticing when old patterns emerge, when emotions or thoughts try to dominate your responses, and when external circumstances challenge your balance. Unlike before, you do not react automatically. Instead, you observe and choose how to respond. This ability to pause and reflect transforms your relationships, your work, and your decision-making. Your life begins to feel more aligned, not because it has become simpler or free of challenges, but because your inner clarity allows you to navigate complexity with presence and calm. One of the most important realizations during this phase is that awakening does not remove difficulties or pain. Challenges will still arise, misunderstandings will still occur, and family dynamics may continue to provoke strong emotions. The difference is how you relate to them. Pain and struggle are no longer seen as punishments or failures. They become mirrors, showing areas where growth, compassion, or awareness is still needed. You begin to ask questions like, what is this teaching me? And how can I respond consciously? This shift from reaction to reflection marks the true beginning of emotional mastery as integrity. On deepens, patience and humility naturally develop. Earlier, you may have sought instant understanding or quick resolution to your struggles. Now, you recognize that personal growth and spiritual awakening have no endpoint. Life itself is the teacher, and each day offers new lessons. You stop comparing your journey to others, release the pressure to be perfect, and accept that evolution is gradual. This understanding fosters inner peace, even amidst ongoing challenges. A quiet strength also emerges during integration. You no longer seek validation or approval from others to feel worthy. Your sense of self becomes anchored in your own awareness and understanding. Decisions are made with clarity, not fear or habit. Boundaries are respected, not as rigid rules, but as reflections of self-respect. Your interactions become more authentic, honest, and compassionate, grounded in the awareness that connection begins with presence and clarity. Integration also encourages alignment between your inner and outer life. You begin to act in ways that reflect your values and awareness, rather than simply reacting to family, society, or past conditioning. You speak truthfully, choose relationships consciously, and navigate responsibilities with mindfulness. Life may still be challenging, but it feels less chaotic and more purposeful. The family that once felt like a source of struggle now becomes a context for growth, teaching, and conscious interaction. Ultimately, the real reason you were born into your family becomes clear during this phase. It is not about comfort, control, or perfection. It is about evolution, self-discovery, and awakening. Your family provided the lessons, the challenges, and the mirror needed for you to grow into your fullest potential. By integrating these experiences, you reclaim your identity, step into awareness, and live in alignment with your true self. Awakening becomes sustainable, not as a fleeting experience, but as a foundation for conscious, authentic living.